Tired of the same old at business events? Well, this is not the same as last year. The podcast where we blow up the boring and lead the charge into the attendee-first era of business events. I'm Clare, Forestier, a business event MC obsessed with transforming audiences from passive observers into dynamic participants at events. Each week we'll challenge the conventions, share actionable tips and hear from fellow event rebels who are mastering the engagement game. Imagine your attendees begging for more after your next event. That's the magic of prioritising their experience. Ready to ditch the dull and create corporate events your audiences will rave about? Then you've found your tribe. Join the movement. Welcome to Not the Same as Last Year. Hello and welcome to Not the Same as Last Year. I'm Clare Forestier. I'm a business event MC and I am obsessed with the idea of putting your attendees first. Our last episode, we talked about how the future of in-person events really hinges on creating experiences that put the attendee first, and how by focusing on their needs and delivering lasting impact, you can really justify the environmental impact and keep people excited to attend. In this episode, I want to talk to you about securing wider event team buy-in for the attendee first concept. Now, to clarify, I'm not talking about your internal team of event organisers and juniors and so on. I'm talking about your wider team, the people that you will hire in for the life cycle of this event, your suppliers, those people that are probably outside your core team of staff. Now, I'm a supplier, I'm an MC. I get booked by a client or their event organiser to be the on-stage host on the day of the event. And I, like all the suppliers you book, need to really, truly get your plans, your objectives, and feel part of a team working together. And this needs to be put in place as early as possible in the event planning process. You will not get a truly attendee-first event together if you don't get this piece right. Why? Well, for one, it is going to affect the way we plan to bring our things, our specialness, our gifts, our whatever to your event. And it's going to impact you getting the full value of the investment that you've made in us. Now, be honest, how often when organising an event do you think of all your suppliers and your contributors as a hive mind working holistically together to ensure a fabulous event for you? Now, based on my years of doing this, most people tend to silo all the different parts and the people working in your event, telling them just what you think they need to know, keeping them all separate from each other until the big day, because you think it's just easier that way, or you don't want to give them too much to do or put them off or whatever, but more likely it's just because that's the way it's always been done, right? Now, I'll tell you a story. A client of mine, by chance, in a call while we were waiting for her colleague to join us, who was late, she let slip that she was really bamboozled. We're just chatting really, but she's like, I'm struggling with the world of event tech. It's all a bit much. I don't know who to sign with to kind of get the event tech that we're having for our event, because it was a hybrid event. And I'm just going to sign a deal with these people, and these people were the most expensive players out there because it seemed easier and safer, and I could see that they did everything, and I just, their website was clearer, basically. Now, I mentioned that I had some contacts that I knew that could actually give some really good information on the subject before she made the investment. And after just one meeting with a contact I put her in touch with, she was then so much more confident about this event tech world that she could then properly investigate the offerings that were on the market, as well as the big expensive one. And she actually then felt able to hold off on this really originally pricey decision to try out a new product and save herself from blasting a huge portion of her budget on the unnecessary functions that were being offered by the larger player. Now, while obviously grateful, she also said, I didn't even think of asking my MC for that kind of advice. It was just a throwaway in a conversation. And the point is, she's not alone. We tend to silo people into the job titles they have. And that's really limiting, because we've all go to lots of different events as suppliers. We all see lots of different things. We read lots of different things. We listen to lots of different event podcasts like this one. And I've seen other cases where clients are hiring in 2 or 3 different teams to provide different elements of their event without even checking if they could have all got it from one supplier. And of course, I've seen the opposite, where they might be going for a one-stop shop option, but then they're actually also paying for services they don't need. Now, if you're an event planner who's all over the tech and you know all about the platforms out there and all the new ways to engage audiences, then, shut me up, tell me all you know. But the chances are not everybody has time to know what's in the marketplace or what all the events are doing. Possibly you only organise one big event a year in your multifaceted role in your company. And of course, we do not know what we do not know. So the hive mind of the team of suppliers you are contracting for your events are not only working in the pokey end of a lot of other events, but as I say, have huge amounts of contact and knowledge and industry awareness. And they know this stuff, or at least if they don't know it, they'll know the right people to ask for you. Now, it's sometimes the result of short lead times, but often I am just not invited to meetings until after the agenda and the big decisions are wrapped up too tight to be unpicked and to make way for any clever ideas or make use of any great context I might bring to the table. And hey, I'm just the event host. Think how many of your suppliers also have these huge amounts of untapped knowledge that you're not hearing. My advice, get a room, put your event suppliers, your MC, your AV teams, your stage managers, your coordinators in it. Get them all to meet. Of course, a virtual room is fine. And share your plans, your hopes, your dreams for the event with everyone there together. Make sure everyone knows the objectives, how you want the attendee to feel, what you want them to do at the end of the event, all that kind of thing. I speak obviously from the point of view of an MC, and I can tell you a call like this is so invaluable to help me understand the event's overall setup, the technical aspects, the logistics, also familiarity with me and my style and the plans you have for your MC are going to aid you in smoothly coordinating transitions, intros, and on-stage interactions, all that kind of thing. And this early collaboration really fosters a shared sense of ownership by everyone at the meeting. Everyone feels really invested in the event's success. It leads to a more creative, more problem-solving environment. Now, your speakers and your contributors are also part of the team. So you need to get another room. Again, Zoom is fine. And you put your speakers and your contributors in it with your MC because they are still the hive mind. And these contributors, these speakers, they need to know things like you want to make your event really attendee-centric and what that actually is going to mean. And they need to know that before they start planning their presentation and turn up with their 40 slides and their non-stop talk and 2-3 minutes Q&A at the end, because you don't want that anymore, do you? You want a proper attendee-first event. Now, have you ever noticed how when you get on a plane, you have a normal conversation with one of the flight attendants, say, and then when you are kind of in your seats and you're all strapped in and you're ready to go, and they suddenly get onto the intercom to talk to the whole plane, that really normal person you just spoke to suddenly has this super weird sing-songy voice. You know what I mean? Like, ladies and gentlemen, da 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 da, can you all take your seats? Can you, when the light goes on, that weird voice. And it's a bit like most presentations. You can have a really normal conversation with the speaker beforehand, and then they're going to stand on stage and drone along to a series of slides. And we easily fall into doing and saying what we've heard others do. And I think in events, we are really institutionalized into doing what's always been done. So when you are actually going to ask your speakers to make things interactive and attendee first, you will need them to know exactly what you mean, and you're going to possibly need to help them. Often I see speakers, when they hear that we want to make it interactive, thinking, oh, okay, that's fine. After every 3 slides or so, I'll just ask the audience if they've got any questions. That's not enough. And this is when the MC can help. I really want to meet the contributors beforehand, and then we can share ways that we can make the sessions more fun for the attendees. To be honest, you should always be putting your event speakers and contributors in a meeting together with your MC before an event, if only to build rapport and trust and reduce blunders and glitches from misunderstandings. It helps both of us to to do a better job. Me to personalize and tailor my interactions to align with each speaker's style, knowing their expertise and the message they want to give is going to help me guide the questions and answers more effectively. It helps me to introduce them in the right way, but it also means I can actually make the session more interactive by potentially asking questions of the audience before, during, and after the session, or cooking up a little scenario with the speaker to make things more fun. I just want to address some potential concerns because I get you might feel hesitant to involve all your suppliers too early on due to concerns about cost or information overload. And I mean, yes, they're going to be individual suppliers. They're not part of your actual business. You can't make them come to all the meetings. You can't bombard them with loads of emails. But I think it's easy to resolve if you are clear with them about your expectations. You want to share with them that you want all your suppliers to feel part of the team, that's what you want your attendees to feel, and therefore you need to be sure your wider team gets that same sense of belonging. That way you won't be bombarding them with unnecessary information or demanding them to come to unnecessary Zoom calls, but you are setting some expectations. Get them to all meet as early as possible in one online group meeting, make introductions, share people's emails, and focus on obviously the essential points that you can all work on together. Then have a group document that you put information into that they can check in for updates. You don't need to tell them every time there's an update, but maybe a monthly reminder. We've been doing lots more to our event plan. Do have a look and see where you are, where we are, and where you could add some value or make some suggestions. Now, remember, you might be really deep in your one big event, and some of your issues and your problems are going to feel really thorny to you. But if you're keeping in reasonable contact with your suppliers, you are just being able to use their hive mind because they're able to take a step back, see your issue in the landscape of all the events they work in, and they may just have a really simple, perfect solution. And you didn't even know you had this problem. So you need to share where you are. You really need to keep your MC in the loop in exactly the same way, because if you save it all right until the last minute and you give it to them, 3 days before, it's not a lot of time for them to have thought around the subject, how they're going to script things. And if they've got something else going on, it just makes the whole thing very stressful and mad just before the event. And again, it's limiting the usefulness to you of your MC in the earlier days. So get your MC to give you a meeting link that you can share with your speakers so they can all get a session with her to chat through, or him obviously, to chat through stuff. But if it's a panel, get the panelists to all join the same call. That's just sensible time saving. So in this episode, we have been exploring the importance of getting your entire event team, everyone, suppliers, speakers, your MC involved as early as possible in the planning process. If you get everyone together early and you emphasize the approach you want to make, hopefully the attendee first one, you can leverage the collective knowledge and experience of this really big team. And this kind of collaborative approach allows you to have better planning, smoother execution, and ultimately a more impactful and engaging event for your attendees, which is surely what we all want. And you will then as well be avoiding missed opportunities to make things better and last minute scrambles by having this open communication and early collaboration throughout the entire event life cycle. So that's it for this week. Please join me for the next episode where we're going to be talking about the power of a clear objective when you want to have an attendee first event. See you next time. And there you have it. I hope you're inspired to revolutionize the attendee experience at your next event. Ready to dive deeper? Download your free guide, 5 ways to elevate your attendee experience without breaking the bank. The link is in the show notes. Subscribe to Not the Same as Last Year podcast, connect with me, Clare Forestier, on LinkedIn, or visit my YouTube channel for even more tips and insights to make your events a hit with your attendees. Don't forget to leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. Your feedback is going to fuel my mission. Stay tuned next week for another episode packed with inspiring ideas and practical strategies to put your attendee first.